Today we're going to be looking at Cavern of Dreams on the Nintendo Switch, a 3D surreal platformer. It came out on other platforms to glowing reviews, and hopefully this build delivers a very similar experience. Now my name's Alex, this is SwitchCorner, and if you enjoy this video, subscribe, it helps out the channel a huge amount. So the story, and we're going to be playing a young dragon named Fynn who enters the Cavern of Dreams in search of his unhatched siblings, and they were stolen by a mysterious figure. Now I'm not going to say the story is deep, as that's pretty much all there is to it. It's a very simple setup, but I really enjoyed the cast around this world. You know, as you open up locations, you're really going to meet some unique individuals, and it very much embraces that surreal nature of the experience. So gameplay, it's a retro throwback, so if you enjoyed N64 3D platformers, so think, yes, Banjo and Kazooie, this game is likely going to be for you. I will clear up here, however, this game is non-violent, but there's still plenty of ways to reset your position, so think enemies that may bop you occasionally, or ledges that I frequently fell from. It doesn't feature, however, really a game over screen, rather it simply resets your position back in the world. So then the main gameplay loop, what is it all about? And it's going to be finding those missing 40 eggs. They are hidden around this world, some obvious, many not. The majority of them will require a whole lot of platforming, but there's also quite a few puzzles as well. Now, I'm not going to say they were particularly difficult, but I definitely had to stop and think my way through it. This is a game, it's kind of old school as well, in the sense it's not going to hold your hand or tell you where to go. It's very much jump into the world, start figuring it out for yourself. The world is unique to that as well. There's basically, let's call them hub locations with many doors and passages to uncover, but then you're heading into these like small sandbox locations. This is not linear in the traditional sense. Now some, I'm gonna say, are quite basic in their design, others definitely will require some creativity to traverse. I do really generally though like what they have done with the world. Think things such as just items you can interact with, apple trees that can basically, you can collect up the apples, throw them, it grows a tree for you to climb up to get to these higher ledges. There's boots that will allow you to float in the air. There's water which allows you to dive deep and uncover secrets below. I felt like there was constantly something new being introduced that you'll need to learn to overcome. Now, none of this would matter if the controls weren't up to scratch, and thankfully they are in a good place. So we can roll, which speeds us up. We can jump with a second well-timed jump after you hit the floor, giving you a boost in height. We can move the camera with the right stick, and with progression, we're actually going to be unlocking new moves, such as the opening 2, that's a tail whip, which is good for interacting with the world, and then wings, so we can glide. We basically unlock these moves from a central character once we do collect up enough of the missing eggs. Alongside the core egg hunt then, expect plenty of secrets as well, and notes that give hints and add context to this world, collectible cards that fill up an encyclopedia, and then there's mushrooms to collect which we can feed to our siblings, and this is used for information, but also a few of them opened up faster travel shortcuts. I really appreciated that every collectible in this world almost has a purpose, which is a really nice touch. Now, I've been very positive this far, but I did have a few issues as well. There's some minor frame rate issues at specific locations. A few of the items can be a little finicky to interact with. It is a short game, around 3 hours, which I think is fine for the genre, but a few of the areas towards the end game feel a little too similar in what you need to do. Also then, the camera can be a little awkward at times. The world, it has certain objects and obstacles that will obscure your view on occasion. Also, as well, this isn't really a complaint, more a warning, but this is a game that rewards exploration, so don't come here expecting, clear waypoints. This is an old school collectathon, so basically you jump in, you need to figure it out for yourself. So yeah, overall, I think gameplay-wise, if you do appreciate the genre, the era especially, you're going to spot the influences. You'll probably notice it can't quite reach the quality of its idols, but you'll still have a fun time exploring its worlds. Visuals then, of course, match the N64 era influences. It is a throwback, and generally I'd say I really did like them. Our dragon Fynn looks fantastic, the animations are really well done, and they've really went almost over the top with the surreal nature of the designs. Each location has something different it is presenting, and all of the characters you do meet, they just go to some wild places, which I really do appreciate. Now, I will say the color palette at times can be very, let's say, gaudy, but I think it works for this particular idea. And some of the characters and some of the locations, it's not always clear what you can interact with or what you can traverse. So just be very aware of that going into this world. Sometimes you're going to be platforming on objects that do feel like they're more part of just the decorative scenery than actually an interactable object. Audio then, and same thing honestly, as with the visuals, it's very much that throwback, but I think they've done a particularly good job in this arena. The music is catchy throughout, really high quality, and I really like the way it adapts by location. So, you know, some areas are more bright and vivid, that's going to be a very happy track backing it all up. But there's still some menacing areas, more danger in that traversal, and the music very much makes you aware of that. Then on top of all of this, we get some basic sound effects, some bleeps and whistles for the dialogue lines. And yeah, I do think audio-wise, this one is definitely a winner and definitely worth a listen. So overall, the Cavern of Dreams, I think it gets a lot of things right. It feels right at home as well on the Nintendo Switch. I was playing a lot of this one handheld, hence the limited amount of footage we do have in this video today. It's about a 3-hour experience, as I said, but for me, the footage you're seeing here is roughly, I'd say, the opening 15 to 20 minutes. I did want to jump on and capture some direct footage. This all said, look, if you do enjoy the genre, if you're a fan of N64 era 3D platforming, then I don't think you can really go wrong with this one. Yes, it doesn't quite match its idols, as I said, but it still gets a lot of things right. It's definitely a charming world, and that kind of surreal design really does make it stand out. Today, we're going to be giving Cavern of Dreams a good 7 out of 10, and if you like the look of this one, let us know in the comments down below. Will you actually be checking it out? Maybe you're diving into this world already. I know it released on Steam amongst other platforms previously. So with that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.